And he went, had a game, and come back and said he was still struggling. I made this statement to him, and since then I've made it several times. I said, Kerry, I want you to give me your next at bat. I don't care what the result is. I want you to do this. You're not going to swing. All you're going to do is get to the loaded launch position, the one we worked on so hard in all our workouts. You're going to get to the loaded launch position, and you know you're not going to swing. You know you're not going to swing, so you don't have to worry about the swing. You don't have to worry about the ball much. All you're going to do is get to this position here, and as the ball goes by, you're going to confirm, yes, I was there on time, or no, I wasn't. Okay? And basically, you have to get there by pitch release. That's why I showed that video there of Kerry. That was a home run, by the way, where he was ready at pitch release and swung. So I said, the next at bat is mine. If you want to continue, the next at bat is mine. You're not going to swing on the first 3 or 4 pitches. You're not going to swing. If they call you out, go sit down, because you're going to get a tremendous lesson out of this. So, sure enough, he got to the position. He got to the position because he wasn't worried about swinging. Most hitters are so worried about that ball, so worried about that pitcher, so worried about the swing, that they're getting to the loaded launch position is inconsistent. And there is absolutely no excuse for that. None. That's the dumbest thing you can do. That is simply not paying attention to what you need to do. There's nothing more important than the loaded launch position. You can't hardly screw the swing up when you get to the loaded launch position on time. Why are you not getting to the loaded launch position on time? That makes no sense. I'm not asking you why you didn't hit the ball hard. I'm not asking you why you didn't handle that slider. I'm simply asking you, why are you not at the loaded launch position on time? That doesn't take genius. I could stand in the box at 67 and get to the loaded launch position on time. Don't get me wrong, I probably can't hit. I know I can't hit. But I could get to this position on time. I could figure out on deck the pitcher's rhythm, and I can get to this position by pitch release. Why aren't you doing that, Kerry? You aren't doing that because you're too damn worried about the ball. You're too damn worried about the swing. You have to time the loaded launch position, not the ball, or also the ball. When you're just trying to time the ball, you're not paying attention at all, most people, to the loaded launch position. Why? Because up until this point in his life, and basically everybody's life, you had enough athleticism to pull off at least a halfway decent swing without ever being to the loaded launch position. You had enough athleticism to still hit the ball, to still barrel the ball. Well, guess what? You don't have enough anymore. You're facing the best pitching in the world. And now you have to get to the loaded launch position on time. And so I said, Kerry, you got to give me 3 or 4 pitches where all you do is get to the loaded launch position. Guess what happened? I don't know if it was that at bat or the next at bat, but he went up there thinking, okay, I'm not going to swing, I'm just going to get to the loaded launch position. And he got there. After a couple pitches, he got there. And pretty soon, the next pitch comes, and he's right at that position on time. And he's thinking, I'm not going to swing. But he's right at that position on time. And because he was on time, the ball looked like a beach ball, and he hit it up. Right now, Kerry's hitting 300 with a 9-something OPS and 9 homers in AA. Why? Because he's getting to the loaded launch position on time. He's starting early enough, and he's learned how to control the move so that he's at the loaded launch position at pitch release. And if you're at the loaded launch position at pitch release, I don't care how hard the guy throws, you're not going to get beat by his fastball. You're already there, and all you have to do, all your loading's already done. All you got to do is swing. You don't have to load some more then swing. Okay? And if you get the off-speed pitch, you're already there at pitch release. You're waiting for his fastball. It's real easy with practice to to wait a tick longer for the off-speed pitch. If you're not ready at the loaded launch position at pitch release, and you're still loading when that ball's in flight, and it's a fastball, you're going to get rushed often. And if you're rushed for the fastball and the next pitch is an off-speed pitch, you're going to lunge for it. But there's no reason why you can't get into a position, a loaded launch position under control, that you could snap instantly for the fastball or wait a tick and snap a tick later for the off-speed pitch. Okay? I'm done preaching. I just had a Facebook Live, or not Facebook Live, but a FaceTime with a college player today, him and his dad. And the dad and the son was there, and they both acknowledged that his cage work is tremendous, his flip work is tremendous, and as soon as he gets in a game, he lunges and crashes forward. And I told him the story about Kerry, and I said, I haven't seen you in a game, but what you're telling me is you're doing the same thing Kerry was doing. You're trying to time the ball without having ever timed the loaded launch position. Give me their next at bat. Give me the next 3 or 4 pitches, and all you're going to do, you already know before the pitcher throws the ball, you're not going to swing. You're just going to get to the loaded launch position on time. That's the goal for the next 3 or 4 pitches. And I'm anxious to see the result. I know what the result will be if he continues on. It might not be that at bat, it might not be the second at bat, it might be the next game. But if he is continually practicing getting to the loaded launch position on time, he will hit. Okay? This is the ready at release drill. It is my opinion that if a hitter is ready to swing at pitch release, then he will no longer be rushed by the fastball. And if he's not rushed by the fastball, he won't be as vulnerable on the off-speed pitch. If you're ready to swing at pitch release, you will be waiting for the fastball. And if you're waiting for the fastball, it's much easier to wait a tick longer for the off-speed pitch. So here's how I train that. I turn the machine on and I ask them to swing at release. How do I know they were actually ready to swing at release? The only way I can know that is if they actually do swing at release. If they swing at release, they will have to get their load done a little earlier than they're used to, and they will have to learn then to control that load for the baseball. The first step is swing at release so that you learn to get your loading done much earlier. So as you can see, I took 3 or 4 swings, the goal being to time the release point. And then, because I was already ready to swing at release, on the last pitch, I just waited a tick longer and hit a line drive left center. I can't overestimate the value of this drill. It sure looks ridiculous when you do it. I can't tell you how many hitters instantly after doing this drill start hitting the baseball hard, where before they swung and hit ball after ball after ball. It's a great drill, ready at release.